Hi, I'm Dave Balkan. This is the second part of a three-part video series on how to cut prep pipe, which we just did earlier. This is going to show how to clean the pipe, copper tubing, prior to soldering it. This is really the main reason why folks do soldering that fails. They either don't clean it properly or they contaminate it after they cleaned it. The other reason soldering fails is if there's water in the pipe that has no way to get out. Once you put heat on it, it turns to steam and it will come out through the joint. Doesn't matter how much solder or heat you put on it, that steam will ruin your joint. So we already made sure that the fitting goes on. You usually want to clean the pipe. You can go crazy and clean a whole bunch of the pipe, but if you want to save some labor, maybe add 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 inch past where the fitting goes on, right? And if you take a little bit more time, you'll have a lot more success. So this is how I do it. I take a sanding cloth. You want a nice length of sanding cloth because you want to get some leverage. You go up to that white mark I just placed. You hold your hands together and you that's it. Now what you're doing is you're grinding off all the surface dirt, dust, imperfections, and then you go the other way around, hands together. You can go a little further than the mark. That's really not a major point, right? Now that's nice and clean, but I'm going to suggest you take another step. This is called the Scotch pad. Now it is absolutely clean, but what do you want to do? In case there's any residual dirt, dust, anything you cleaned off, take a clean white cloth. You want to clean it off. What you don't want to do is place this on a table or a dirty surface. Dust can come up. Now you're contaminated. You never want to touch it with your finger. Your glove could be dirty. Always wear gloves when you're soldering. Leather welder's gloves are better. Or if it's your bare finger, there's grease on your finger, dirt on your glove, don't touch it. Now, another little tip I'm going to give. Most people that solder, they dip the soldering brush into the solder. They go back and forth, they contaminate their solder. How many folks are doing plumbing and plumbers where their solder is all full of debris? That will ruin your joint. So almost like a painter. You take some solder, some flux, I'm calling it solder. This is flux. And this looks innocent. This actually has an acid content. If it gets on your clothes will be ruined. What this does is this preps the copper when you heat it. It's a solder. It makes the solder, I keep calling it solder, it's flux. It will make the solder adhere. This flux, once heated, will allow the solder to adhere to your pipe, right? Now you have your fitting. You use a brush to clean the inside of the fitting. I'm doing a little bit overdue. What you're going to do then, again, there may be residual dust in there. There always is. You want to clean this. And you can't see it, but there's dirt in there. That will ruin your solder joint. So then you take a little bit more flux. Did not call it solder this time. Again, you don't have to put a lot, but more is worse than less. Put it on your fitting. Now you're prepped. So the third video will be a quick tutorial on how to solder. I hope that helped you out there. Thank you.